that feel? I mean, I can't imagine. You said your mom is really the only person in your family you have. How was that you felt your own mom took advantage?
It's like I lived in prison. It's like I lived in a jail my whole life. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to have my own job. I just wanted to live my life. I just wanted to just love somebody, have somebody else that would actually love me, because I wasn't sure what love was.
In a shocking turn of events, the disappearance of 17-year-old Rudy Farias from the bustling streets of Houston, Texas, left the world in utter disbelief. March 2015 marked the beginning of a mystery that would unravel a twisted truth, shaking the very core of our trust and unraveling a web of manipulation and secrecy that seemed straight out of a thriller movie. As the investigation peeled back layer after layer, the disturbing reality came to light. Rudy's own mother, the person who should have protected and nurtured him, had been orchestrating a sinister game, ensnaring him in her twisted webs of control and hiding him away from the prying eyes of the world for 8 years. Step into the DetectiVerse, a portal that will transport you to the enigmatic realm of solved and unsolved crimes and mysteries. Brace yourself as we embark on a thrilling journey through time and space, delving into the deepest corners of the DetectiVerse. Join us as we unravel the haunting tale of Rudy Farias, an innocent soul trapped within a labyrinth of familial deceit. A tragic story where the fine line between love and betrayal becomes increasingly blurred within the shadowy clutches of hidden truths. Discover the untold secrets behind his mysterious disappearance in 2015, only to be found lying outside a church, unrecognizable, in the distant year of 2023. Rudy Farias, a 17-year-old teenager, captured the hearts of many when he mysteriously vanished in March 2015 while taking his dogs for a walk near his Houston, Texas home on Tidwell and Park Drive. Despite extensive efforts by the Houston police and the dedicated search team from Texas EquiSearch, no trace of Rudy was discovered. The dogs he was with at the time, however, were found. Janie Santana, Rudy's mother, reported his absence on March 7, 2015, hoping for any leads or information that could shed light on her son's whereabouts. She mentioned to officials that Rudy had been battling depression and PTSD since his brother Charles tragically passed away in a motorcycle accident back in 2011. A painful event that Rudy would often confide in his neighbors about. The community held on to hope and memories of Rudy, cherishing the spirited young man who left an indelible mark on their hearts. Houston police said at the time that there was no foul play involved. But where did Rudy go? The haunting story of Santana's son, Rudy Farias, struck a chord with the public, leading to widespread coverage by media outlets. As word spread, concerned individuals came together on Facebook to form discussion groups dedicated to unraveling the mystery behind Rudy's disappearance. Meanwhile, Santana herself sought solace and a sense of community through active participation on true crime chat boards, often utilizing multiple Facebook accounts with various identities. Descriptions provided by the search group revealed that Rudy faced additional challenges, battling asthma and walking with a slight limp due to a prior injury to his right leg. The Farias family had endured further heartache with the loss of Rudolph Farias III, a 51-year-old police officer who tragically took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in a police parking garage on August 19, 2014. Rudolph was found in uniform, seated in a patrol car at the time of his death. The preceding day, Rudolph had been relieved of his policing duties pending the outcome of an internal investigation involving allegations of his involvement, along with 3 other officers, in a potential ticket-writing scheme. 3 years after Rudy Farias' initial disappearance, family members reached out to the police in September 2018, claiming that Rudy was residing behind a relative's house. Acting on this information, the Houston police conducted a thorough search of the property, but unfortunately failed to locate Rudy. 5 excruciating years later, however, Rudy Farias was finally found. On June 29, 2023, fate intervened when a man later confirmed to be Rudy Farias was discovered in a troubling state outside Immaculate Heart Church in southeast Houston, near 76th Street and Avenue K. The circumstances that led to this discovery were rooted in Rudy's decision to take his mother's car in an attempt to distance himself from her. Regrettably, the escape resulted in a crash that left him bloodied and bruised, which ultimately left him outside the church. A compassionate individual recognized as a Good Samaritan quickly dialed 911 upon finding Rudy lying injured on the church grounds. Rudy was found in possession of his mother's 2-year-old credit card, which he presented as evidence that disproved his alleged absence for 8 long years. Santana, upon learning of her son's location, promptly shared the news on Facebook, emphasizing the severity of his condition. She conveyed the distressing news that Rudy had suffered abuse and beatings, pointing to the presence of blood in his hair. Concerned well-wishers were granted a glimpse into Rudy's circumstances through the heartfelt photographs Santana shared, showcasing him in a hospital bed. Santana's Facebook post painted a distressing picture of Rudy's physical condition upon his return. She revealed that he suffered from cuts, soft tissue tumors, small openings, and swelling on the soles of his feet, accompanied by bruising, both recent and older cuts, and scrapes on his body. Rudy's appearance had transformed to such an extent that his once familiar complexion had become incredibly dark, rendering him nearly unrecognizable. Mother Santana expressed her anguish, acknowledging that only God truly knew the trials he had faced during his time away from home. She disclosed that Rudy exhibited signs of trauma, flinching at the slightest touch or attempt at affection, as if anticipating harm. He now believed his name to be Julio Torres and believed himself to be 14 years old. However, upon news of Rudy's miraculous reappearance, neighbors shared a conflicting narrative asserting that Rudy had never been truly missing. In fact, they claimed to have frequently spotted him within the neighborhood. Known affectionately as Dolph, a shortened version of his full name, Rudolph, Rudy was described as somewhat withdrawn but regularly seen around the area. Jeannie Weibel, a neighbor, disclosed that Rudy would remain reticent about his identity when in their company, leaving them with only limited knowledge. They knew him to reside with his mother in the neighborhood and accompany her to work from around 6 p.m. to 7 or 8 in the morning. The conflicting accounts added to the enigma surrounding Rudy's story, leaving unanswered questions about his experiences during the period of his absence. Amidst the unfolding revelations, another neighbor, Keisha Ross, shared her interactions with Rudy Farias. According to Ross, Rudy confided in her, expressing his reluctance to spend time at home due to his mother getting on his nerves. She further claimed that Santana attempted to offer her money in exchange for silence concerning Rudy's situation, but Ross firmly refused as she was determined to share the truth. Ross recounted how Rudy would casually visit her garage, spending time with her cousin, son, and daughter. Additionally, she revealed that Rudy had a penchant for solitary excursions into the nearby woods. As news of Rudy's surprising claim reverberated, both relatives and neighbors started to come forward, asserting that they had known all along that he was not truly missing. In fact, they claimed to have encountered him regularly over the years. Cassandra Lopez, Rudy's cousin, disclosed that deep down in their hearts, they always harbored doubts about the story of his disappearance. Lopez recalled contacting emergency services in 2018 after family members spotted Rudy at his mother's residence, and their grandmother reported seeing him on a regular basis. These accounts from relatives and neighbors further deepened the complexities surrounding Rudy's case, challenging the initial narrative of his vanishing. Following his reappearance, Houston police visited the house, although it remains unclear if they questioned any of the relatives at that time. On July 5, 2023, a significant development occurred when community activist Quinnell X and the Houston police met with Rudy Farias at a hotel in Humble, Texas. Quinnell X later addressed reporters outside the hotel, revealing shocking allegations made by Farias against his mother. According to Quinnell X, Rudy claimed that his mother had subjected him to a harrowing ordeal of drugging and sexual abuse spanning several years. Rudy accused his mother of holding him captive, forcing him to assume a parental role, and administering hallucinogenic drugs to exert control over him. Reports indicate that Santana, who worked as a security guard overnight, brought Rudy along with her to work in the evenings and kept him concealed from public view during the day. Neighbors captured Santana on record expressing her expectation of being arrested. Santana's statements, spoken as she stepped out of her car in front of her home, shed light on the situation. Santana now faces the looming threat of arrest as authorities contend that she was concealing her son during his absence. The intricate web of accusations, strained relationships, and conflicting narratives further complicates the already bewildering saga surrounding Rudy Farias. Despite the disturbing allegations made by Rudy and shared by Quinnell with the press, Santana was not immediately arrested. During an interview with Quinnell, after being separated from his mother, Farias reportedly denied ever being missing and provided further shocking details. According to Rudy, his mother had been making him sleep in her bed while she was naked and coercing him to assume the role of a father figure. Quinnell expressed his disbelief that Santana was not already in custody, stating, "Based on what that boy told me, I don't see why she's not in handcuffs right now." Rudy appeared terrified initially, but began to calm down once he was alone with Quinnell. The activist also expressed his belief that Rudy had been subjected to heavy drugging, saying, "I believe she was drugging the hell out of this kid." Rudy alleged that he felt uncomfortable sharing a bed with his mother and would attempt to sneak out, but she insisted that he play the role of her husband. Additionally, Rudy claimed that his mother made him bathe her and subjected him to repeated instances of confinement in a room as a form of punishment. These harrowing revelations added another layer of distress to an already deeply troubling situation. The following day, Houston police made a significant revelation, stating that Rudy Farias had never been missing during the past 8 years. They further clarified that Farias had not reported any instances of sexual abuse by his mother. However, the discovery of Rudy Farias has brought forth a complex family dynamic and raised questions about his mother's past. Since Rudy's reappearance, Santana has been avoiding media attention, shying away from public appearances. Her relatives, however, have not been as reserved in their opinions. Some family members have described her as a con woman and an internet catfish, alleging that she has used various names and assumed different identities throughout her life. Santana's sister, Pauline Sanchez Rodriguez, expressed her concern about Santana's greed-driven nature, stating that money seemed to be her primary motivation. Despite these accusations, the Houston police have not yet pressed any charges against Santana, choosing to continue their investigation. Initially, Rudy's aunt asserted that he wanted nothing to do with Santana and was refusing to have any contact with her, including declining her phone calls. However, this stance appeared to shift when Santana, despite being confronted by neighbors, arrived at the East Houston home with shopping bags from Macy's and Walmart to provide Rudy with clothing and other items. This interaction escalated into a heated situation, with neighbors calling the police due to the disturbance caused by yelling and screaming in the middle of the street. Despite the family tension, Rudy eventually accepted the offerings from his aunt, indicating a possible reconciliation between them. The discovery of Rudy Farias, now 25, safe and recovering in a hospital, brought both relief and a myriad of questions. The family released a statement requesting privacy as they promised to share more details as Rudy continues to heal. Tim Miller of Texas EquiSearch, a nonprofit search and recovery organization that assisted in the initial search for Farias in 2015, referred to the outcome as a miracle, but remained curious about what happened during the 8 years he was missing. The police had their house searched multiple times over the years, and Houston Police Lieutenant Christopher Zamora revealed that both Santana and Rudy himself had given fictitious names while interacting with patrol officers. Santana had informed people that the young man seen coming and going from her home was her nephew, further deceiving the police by insisting that Rudy was still missing. Houston Police Chief Troy Finner refrained from speculating on the motive behind the deception, but confirmed that they were investigating the matter. Finner also refrained from labeling Rudy as a victim at this point. Santana and Rudy could potentially face misdemeanor charges for failing to inform the police that he was no longer missing and providing a false identity to the police. However, as of now, neither has been charged with any crime. Pauline Sanchez disclosed that she had reunited with her nephew for the first time in 8 years and mentioned that he planned to stay away from his mother. Pauline acknowledged that Rudy needed time to heal mentally and emotionally, as he had been through a lot during his absence. She stated that he did not want to see his mother again and emphasized that action should be taken to address the situation. While some neighbors claimed they hadn't seen Rudy during his supposed absence, others, like Jeannie Weibel, said that he had regularly visited their house for chats during that time. Weibel noted that Farias appeared to be somewhat depressed, but they were not aware that he was missing and had simply been spending time with him. The case of Rudy Farias remains complex and continues to be the subject of investigation as authorities attempt to piece together the truth about his 8-year absence and the circumstances surrounding his reunion with his family. As the story of Rudy Farias reaches its conclusion, one can't help but wonder about the depths of deception and the lasting impact on his life. What drove his mother to manipulate and hide him from the world? Were there hidden forces at play that we may never fully comprehend? Is Rudy truly the victim in this whole ordeal, or is there something deeper yet to be uncovered? Let us know your thoughts down below.